Hey, what's going on with your babies? What's happening? What's shaking? What's popping? What's crack-a-lacking? It's Wednesday night, and the time is right for Raw Talk Live tonight. It's the R.Kelly verdict and Roe v. Wade. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. It's time for Raw Talk Live. Hey, what you know, it's time for Raw Talk Live. Good evening, girlfriend Peggy. How you do, boo?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Girl, your smile looks like the lights on Broadway.
Hey, yes.
Hi, my love. I'm doing just great, and not a complaint. And if I did, who would give a damn, really and truly? You know how that goes, right? So, girl, you wearing your locks out tonight. I see you got your hair out tonight. You flowing tonight, huh?
I got my hair right.
Yes, it's very pretty. You know, it's critical to be able to do your hair yourself. I never really mastered that, but I always admire anybody. And I watch these young ladies on TikTok and different reels, and they show themselves putting their hair in, putting their lace fronts in, and just changing everything about how they look. I'm like, ooh. They do it. I mean, they do it, and they have it on their head. They can cut their hair while it's on their head and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. I told my daughter's young. Hey, you have to know how to do stuff. Your hair, your makeup, your outfits, everything. You need to know how to yourself from head to toe because you're not gonna have money or hairdresser or a makeup artist to make the makeup. You need to get yourself together for home and cry because you can't get it. You gotta know how to put together.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Quickly, yeah.
Quick, fast, in a hurry. Hello, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but we're so happy to have you there. That person says, "Hey, my beautiful sisters. Thank you all for coming in the building. Folks are here tonight in the virtual building with us." Hello, Mr. Jones. Hello, Mr. Jones. It's so nice to see you, Darren, in the building. Yes, the hype man. Yes, Peggy has an echo, and she might have one, and she might not have one. Yeah, she's gonna back up off that thing a little bit.
I heard it from the very beginning.
Yeah. Hi, Andre. Hey, baby, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you in the building. Yes, most indeed. Yes. Okay. He putting in hello every kind of way he can. All right, Sinitra's in the building. Thank you, baby, because this thing is only showing the name Facebook user, so I can't tell who you are. Thank you so much. Monique, hey there, my little Legends nominee. That's right, honey. A legend in Orlando, nominated as a legend. She is going to receive her reward. Listen, and it is well deserved. You're talking about one of the hardest working women. She's a mover and a shaker. Between her,
I know when I move, she
the real deal.
Yes.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes. Both. I told her, I said, I can't keep up with you or Taisha. Both of y'all would make me tired when I see your schedules. Yes. Yes, most definitely. We got some hugs from another Facebook user. So happy to have you here with us tonight. Yeah. Listen, when the organizer, when Pam Powell, who is running for your representative in District 41, and said, who would you say is a legend? I man, I boom, just like that. Rolled right off my tongue, right off my tongue. Well, we love you too. And so tonight, we're happy to have you in the building. We want to talk, of course, about the most recent thing that has happened in the news. As if there's not enough, just so much going on all the time between outrageous shootings and do you know there was a shooting in the Atlanta subway system, the MARTA system for Atlanta? Somebody was mad because somebody else put too much mayonnaise on his sandwich. You know, mental illness is real.
Yeah. If you going off on too much mayonnaise, it's a serious issue.
It's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. When children are afraid to go to school, people are afraid to go, to get on the subway or, just to do anything without you can't it's crazy. So we got all of this going on, and then there's R.Kelly. So one of his victims said to him, "You couldn't care less. I avoided your name and your songs and suffocated with fear. What you did left a permanent stain in my life," as he received a 30-year sentence that could have been a life sentence. But and for him, really, I think it's I think that it really is a life sentence for him. He's 55 years old. If you're sentenced for 30 years, you're spending the rest of your life in jail.
It's your good years.
Yeah, the very last of your good years. You're spending your golden years.
Yeah.
Your golden years.
He still have more charges, right?
Yes.
So he could get more years on top of 30.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because he has sex trafficking, which, and then racketeering.
And
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's part of that sex trafficking part. I listen. I said I'm gonna have to drink my way through this show tonight.
I'm drinking today.
Because it's so sad. So we want to know from you all, how do you feel about R. Kelly? Did you stop listening to his music? Do you think that what happened to him, was he railroaded? Were we supposed to have more sympathy for him because of his childhood experiences?
That's the only reason why he should have not been in that position. If you've been the victim of that same very thing, why are you going to run around and victimize? Why wouldn't you try to advocate for those type of people that's been molested, abused, and mistreated? Why would you try to turn around and victimize? This is sick.
Yes, it is. Most definitely. Yeah. She said, Peggy, you still have an echo. We know Peggy can hear it too. But so we want to know how you feel about it. Do you feel like his music should be banned? Most radio stations stop playing it. If you wanted to hear an R. Kelly song, you'd have to play it yourself. So how do you feel about that? With this cancel culture, do we just cancel R. Kelly? And does he have is that an excuse? Does he have a legitimate excuse? Because of the molestation that he suffered. So you can't hear me. I don't know what that's about. I can hear you. Yeah. Benjamin says R. Kelly was wrong. Now he has to pay, but I won't stop listening to his music. And then,
the part of it is the music is music. It's there. It's not going away. It's never going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the music is a part of who he is. He makes the music, but still, it's to be a celebration.
Yeah.
It's just a song.
Yeah.
So it depends on how some music, because of how music makes you feel, whether or not you can tolerate or hear. It's just like breaking up with a person. You may not be able to sing their voice. You may not be able to see a picture. You don't want to hear their name mentioned or nothing. It's like, that's okay. Don't even get their name. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have that, don't expect you don't that way. Listen to the party everyone want to do. It's music.
Yeah, and there you go. I feel the same way, even though I haven't listened to any, but I don't have him. I don't have him on my music list. Yes, yeah. Benjamin is saying that he still faces federal charges in Illinois, which means that there could be even more time added to his sentence. He had, yeah, he had a lot going on. But it's not unusual for people in the entertainment business. And let us not think for a moment that there aren't other artists, big producers, major players who do the same exact thing that he does.
They haven't been exposed.
They haven't been exposed for whatever reason. It doesn't mean that, that they won't, but they just haven't yet. But, people in the industry will tell you that there's all manner of things that goes on behind closed doors at the parties or like how they used to say on the casting couch, whether it's for music or film or anything else. And people are selling their souls for the opportunity to have the exposure and gain the fame and fortune in exchange for their talents.
Right.
And that makes them vulnerable. That makes them have less than the best judgment about how to achieve their goals. And then they end up in a situation like those a couple of young ladies did, being there with R. Kelly, feeling like they couldn't leave and having to subjecting themselves to his type of treatment. So right. It's a dirty, nasty business, and anybody who is in it, even in the slightest way, can tell you that is tricky, and you need to know who you are. Mm-hmm. Hi, Carletha. We were worried about you. Hi, darling. Hey, sweetheart.
I did talk to her earlier.
Oh, good. That's good.
She called.
Oh, right. That's good. That's good. Yeah. We're glad to see you. And so, so how do you feel about that? And then when it comes to, his other counterparts who face the same thing, were they treated the same way? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right. So, basically, so how you feel about R? Do you feel like the sentence is fair? We want to hear from you. We want to thank you so much for joining us tonight for Raw Talk Live every Wednesday night on Facebook at Raw Talk and on YouTube at Real Ass Women Raw Talk. And we just talk about what's going on, honestly, and uncensored. All right. Benjamin says it was fair. What happened to him was fair. All is fair in love and war. And so, he got his you reap what you sow.
The number of victims that he victimized and the number of years that he got away with. I
I
think
think
it's
it's
pretty very
very
fair.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Mm,
it's pretty
you
very
got a
fair.
bad echo now. Now you're getting feedback from me. That's feedback.
I don't have no idea what that is.
Mm, let me see.
It's
Okay. It'll come back. It's feedback.
It's you?
It's you?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, so for but you know what I don't understand is like why nobody could check that. Because he did that for a long time. But
Long
people
time.
people are so greedy. They will protect you to protect their pocketbook.
Exactly.
You would
They
pay to
protect them.
protect them.
Yeah.
Because they were
getting
getting
paid.
paid.
I mean, whatever
And
you
they
say, they
They
did.
did.
they did
It
it.
was a shot caller.
Yeah.
So
So
somebody
somebody
making
making
sure you get a
$2,
two,
3,
three,
4,
four, five thousand
$5,000
dollars a
a
week,
week,
or
or
whatever it
whatever it
is,
is,
how you
how
get
you
paid.
get
I
paid.
don't
I
know
don't
what
know
you
what
pay,
you pay,
but
but
to
to
do
do
handle the
handle the
door,
door
check
and
this
check
one,
this
make
one,
sure
make
she
sure
don't
she
get
don't get
away.
away.
Make
Make
sure
sure
this
this
is
is
block
block
code
code
10 or
10 or
whatever
whatever
it's
it's
supposed
supposed
to
to
be.
be.
They
They
gonna
gonna
trust you.
trust you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Benjamin says. He was signing the checks, baby. He paid the cost to be the boss so that he could, run that thing like he wanted to. And what a shame that people they'll sell out for that. They'll turn their backs on their morals. They'll let their negative character come out in exchange for money, and then they protect a person like this. I'm surprised that some of those people didn't get a taste of punishment as well.
Right.
Right. That's they're
What do you
what do
call
you
them?
call them?
They had
They
just
had
as
just
much
as
to
much
do
to
with
do
it
with
as
it
the
as the
person
person
who
who
actually
actually
did it.
did it.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
they all
Cohorts.
they
Cohorts and collusion, or as
right.
yeah, or as my mother used to say, real old folks term, they in cahoots.
All
All
together. They
together. They
collaborated all
collaborated
that
all that
together.
together.
Yeah, and orchestrated all of that, and it's sad. I remember when those parents, huh?
All of them
All
should
of them
pay.
should pay.
I don't know how that's going to happen, but he's certainly paying. And I wonder what life is like for him in prison, and what it's going to be like.
And like
And like I said,
depends on
depends on
how
how
loyal
loyal
people
people
are.
are.
If they keep them
They keep
pocketed
pocketed
up
up
and
and
suited and
suited and
booted up,
booted up,
he'll be
you'll
just
be just
fine.
fine.
If his
If
money's
his money's
still out
still
there
out
and he
there
can
and he can
afford to
afford
get
to get
luxuries
luxuries
and
and
favors
favors
and
and
this,
this,
that,
that,
and
and
the third
third
calling,
calling,
I'm sure
I'm
he'll
sure
be
he had
good
a
for
few
years.
years.
Yeah. Benjamin says they're probably the ones who flipped on him. Yeah, and that's how they get away with not having to be punished, because they come and they just spill all the beans. They give the prosecution all of the ammunition they need to make sure that he's found guilty and everything. And it's very sad.
They don't get back into it.
Right, right.
So they
So they
rats.
rats.
Snitches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
snitches,
that's
Mm-hmm. Snitches, sellouts,
right,
backstabbers. Mm-hmm. And they'll do anything to save their own ass.
right.
right.
And that's the game.
It sure
It sure
is.
is.
That's the game. So you know that going in. But it's unfortunate that he was molested as a young person and sexualized early. And there's no doubt that had a very negative effect on him when you sexualize children early, and they just don't understand everything about it. Of course, that has a negative effect. It shapes and molds their character. However, you get to a point where somebody says to you, this is not right. You know how to do everything else. You know how to write a song and produce it. You know how to make plenty of money. You know how to set up a business. And so you don't know that what you think and what you feel is inappropriate. And so why wouldn't you seek treatment? I wonder, did he ever seek treatment, or was he just, letting his dick do all the thinking and just, just running wild, just buck wild with that thing.
He
It
was.
was.
He
It
was
was
well.
well. It's
It's
evident.
evident.
It's
It's showing us
showing us
exactly what
exactly
he
what
was
he was
doing.
doing.
He
He
was
was
careless.
careless.
He was
He was
buck
buck
wild,
wild,
immature,
immature,
didn't
didn't
care,
care,
and that's
and
how
that's
he
how he
acted.
acted.
He had
He had
money.
money.
I'm
I'm
sure
sure
he
he
was
was
arrogant and
arrogant and
pompous,
pompous,
and
and
felt,
felt,
probably
probably
felt that
felt that
he
he
was
was
God's
God's
good
good
women, and
and he could do.
he was
He was
invincible. I could
invincible.
do
I could do
whatever I
whatever I
wanted
wanted
while
while
he
he
was
was free.
And
Outside.
right, and he didn't have to he didn't have to work that hard at it. I mean, for crying out loud, he was R.Kelly. So, if you're somewhere at a concert and R. Kelly picks you out of the crowd, or sends one of his people to pick you out of the crowd and calls you back and invites you to his room, come on now. What else do you have to do? You don't have to do anything. Just show some interest, and then, boom, the next thing you know, um they're there, they're laid out. Laid out on the couch. Benjamin says maybe he thought music was his treatment, as weird as it sounds, like he was using the music kind of as his therapy. Quite
I
possible.
think he talked about a lot of stuff in his music, all that in the closet, and it kind of gave us a little insight of people's psyche and how he
He
thought,
thought,
and you could
you could
tell
tell
something
something
was
was
a
a
little,
little,
it
it
was
was
some
some
things
things
going on
going
that
on
just
that's
due to
just
the
the
music.
music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you
Mm-hmm.
read between the lines, for sure. And then, of course, the first red flag ever was him marrying Aaliyah, and she was underage.
Mm-hmm.
So that told you what his mindset was, which way he was going. Jane
And
said,
I don't
"Listen,
understand how he got with that.
I don't know. I think maybe there was a lie that was told. Maybe on her birth certificate, or maybe her mother gave permission. I can't remember. I'd have to go back. I can't remember. I'd have to research that. But
Right.
somebody let that happen, and is that not a sign of a person's mental state? Hi,
That's
Jane.
true.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the fray. Jane says that his celebrity had him confused. Child, he was past confused.
Yeah, confused, not even the
It's not
word.
even the word.
Right. He was more than confused. That ain't no confusion.
He had the
Had the
notion
notion
that he was
that he
sitting
was
on
sitting
top
on
of the
top of the
world,
world,
and he
and
was
he
the
was the
ruler
ruler
of the
of the
world, and
world,
he
and
could
he
do
could
anything he
think
wanted
he
to
wanted
do.
to do.
Period.
Mhm.
Period.
I
I
just
just
had
had to,
I don't know what the context is. Let him
let
miss
him miss
context and
context
some
and
type
some
of
type of
complex.
context.
I
I
guess,
guess,
how
how
little
little
men
men
have
have a
a
certain
complex
complex
with
with
they
they
want
want
to.
to.
Mhm.
But I
But I
believe
believe
he
he
had
had
some type
some
of
type of
complex
complex
about
about
himself
himself.
that just
Just
knew
knew
he
he
was
was
the
the
king, and he
king,
could
and he
do
could do
whatever he
whatever
wanted
he
to do,
wanted.
and nobody was gonna stop him.
Nobody was gonna stop him.
He was
I guess
unstoppable.
so. I guess so. Um, I'm still getting word that you have some reverb in your
Yeah,
sound, and that
I
it's hard.
I keep
It's
trying to
hard to
turn it
hear
down
you.
and turn it down, and
All right. So I just adjusted my volume to make sure that you don't get any feedback from me. So let's
right.
see if it goes better. Hi, Crystal. Hey, girl. She says no one wants to talk about the parents that let their daughters go with him. Ooh, they failed to protect them.
Most of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
because one or two of them really did try hard to get their daughters out of there.
Out of there.
Yeah.
But
And who would think that it would be that hard? But it was hard.
and
And
it was
it
also
was
said
also
that
said
possibly
that
those
possibly
parents
those
were getting
parents were
paid.
getting paid.
Yeah.
There
So
was kickbacks
we
for
don't
their
know.
school.
Yeah, we don't
So
know.
So
And they're thinking the same thing. But
things.
I just don't know how you can. I couldn't just let your baby go off like that. And it's just like, hey, you don't have to live with him for him to, to work with you. I will drive you over there, baby, and I'll be sitting right there while you're singing and everything is going on. Right. And then when the session is over, we're going home.
You're going home. I gotta leave you there with all these little around, they drinking, they smoking, they drugging, and doing who knows what. What are you doing?
Hey, what about your grown ass man?
You in a cesspool. A sex pool of 40 men, money, gambling, smoking, and drugging. What you think gonna happen?
Right. And if you think that ain't nobody gonna touch your daughter or pee on her, you are sadly mistaken. And he proved that for sure. Crystal is like, she can't get over it. I know what you mean. I felt the same way. How are you gonna let your underaged daughter live with him? What are you thinking? Especially if you're a man. Men know men. Especially if you're a man. You're gonna let your baby, poor.
Let your baby go to the house full of men.
Poor judgment.
And all kind of crazy things off.
Yeah, right. You don't need all that to get on. You don't need that to get on. But that's what people think. They think that that's how that works, and that it's a good thing, and they trusted him. And then this is the thanks you get for your trust. So we're gonna see that the saga continues. He is he's done.
He's spending 30 years right now.
He's done. It's very sad to see that level of talent be wasted like that. It's hard on us to see that happen to Bill Cosby, to see that happen to him. People who were icons and extremely successful and had the power to do so many positive things. But it's no secret. We know that men think with their sexuality first. And that's not, and they don't even have to be famous. They could be a dirt poor, and they are still looking for a hole to stick that thing in somewhere. Anybody, please let me just do something to you. And listen, we love men, but it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast, and as women, you need to know that. I just don't see how their parents could have done that.
Right, because men are holding all the time.
Yeah.
It's not at all the same time. You 1 to 2 years, 3 or 4 years, and they all need to stay in the room together, and it's like a vibe. They're trip off from one to the next. They watching porn on they doing this, and got scratches all over the place, and it's environment. Right there in the middle.
You're right there in the middle. Your baby is in there with all the snakes. And so that's what's up on R.Kelly. And so our other hot topic for discussion tonight with you all is your feelings about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and how that affects us as a Black community, how that affects us as women, and the overall impact. So my question is, do you feel like men should have a say so, and whether or not a woman has the legal right to abortion? Are you pro-life or are you pro-choice? And if so, why? And no attack. This is a judgment-free zone. Don't worry, I'm not going to jump down your throat tonight and stomp your guts out.
And ask you where they from.
Yeah, really. Where the hell you get that from? No. No, I'm not going to do that to you tonight. But I sincerely would like to, to hear your opinion. Is this us versus them? Is this all the women versus the men? And after 55 years of having abortions legalized, are we taking a step back to the dark ages? How do you feel about it? And so inquiring minds want to know. I'll say that that as I am a pro-choice person. I feel like women should have the right to decide what they do to their bodies when it comes to having children, and that our opinion deserves to be um,
Respected.
to be respected. Jane says that R. Kelly was one of the best singer songwriters in the world. It's just a shame, and you know you're absolutely right. You know, to get shut down in that manner is very sad.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that could
Oh.
negatively hard work. Yeah.
And Carletha is right. She said it's sad to say, very sorry to say that some of the parents pimp out their daughters.
Yeah, they did. Those straight people. Yeah.
hmm
And the
You know
parents
why?
are
Because they're greedy and they want to be, you know, they want to be rich and famous too.
well, they
And
want
so
to
they
keep
can.
you famous so they can have benefits. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to abortion, Benjamin says to him, it's on the woman. He said, I can give my thoughts, but the final word is hers. She should ultimately decide. And so, yeah. And so now, you know, there were some states that had trigger laws that as soon as Roe v. Wade was overturned, it went into effect and they shut down abortions. Arizona was calling people saying, hey, that abortion that we had scheduled for you on Friday, psh, not happening. And now that means that that woman who may or may not have had difficulty scraping up the money to go across town in her city and have a safe, legal abortion is now going to have to try to find a way to get somewhere else. Where's the closest city? You know, and who's going to take me there, and who's going to be with me, and you know, and what's going to happen? All of that involves more stress, more money, everything. But I heard a pro-choicer say that this is going to save the lives of women and save the lives of babies to not have
That's not what it's
abortions.
about. It's about saving the lives of the white people, if I can say that. Really,
Oh, you
yeah.
can.
The browning, the tanning of America is upon us by 2045. I believe they predict that we will be in the majority, along with
Yes.
Asians and Spanish people. Will
Yes.
be taking over as far as the numbers, and they don't want to lose that control. So if they can, 37%, I believe, of white women have abortions, where it's a significantly smaller number of African Americans and Asians and Spanish women, maybe 8%, 7% or 8%. They can't stop the white women. So of course we know they want to be unconstitutional. So they got to stop it across the board.
Yeah. I don't know. I do not know what that is about. But and so yeah, huh?
This is my first time experiencing that.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe when I leave, they start to do that. We'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's about saving babies' lives of white women. They need these babies to continue to come into the world and add to the population. So,
But you know what I didn't what I you know I researched some other statistics, but what I didn't look for, and you just made me think about it right now. Okay, so you want white women to have their babies. How many of those white women are having children in a mixed marriage relationship? They're having children from black men.
a lot of them.
A lot of them.
Yes.
I see them on TikTok. Some of them have 8 and 9 of them.
So how's that helping you?
You know, how is that helping you? How is that making a difference? And listen, all of that, you know, it's going to save women's lives. It's not. Women die in childbirth. Women die having abortions. You know, so they die. They can die either way. Children do too.
Cosmetic surgery, everyday surgery, gallbladder, liver, kidney, heart, everything. Any kind of way.
In any kind of way. But if you're going to say that not allowing abortion is going to save the lives of women. Save them for what? To have the trauma of childbirth and maybe die in the process and then leave a child behind. Who's going to take care of that child? And nobody ever talks about who's going to take care of those babies. Jane says they found a way to stop safe abortions. There will still be abortions. Yes, coat hangers and back alley abortions still exist right now, and you can still get the so you can still you can still get the procedure done.
Yeah, and like we discussed, it's going to be a trickle down effect. Are they going to stop contraceptives? Are they going to stop doing an natural pill? Are they going to stop that abortion pill? Are they going to stop? How far are they going to go with this?
Yeah, and you know what? I really the argument that that people use abortions as a means of birth control. Hey, listen, don't nobody want to do that. No, I don't care what you say. No woman wants to go through having an abortion. It is traumatic. It is dangerous. And so what and to make it sound like that's what most people are doing is not true. People use contraceptives. The pill will fail you. A condom will fail you. The morning after pill, the Plan B pill will fail you.
Ligations have your tubes tied will fail you. It's not guaranteed that once you have your tubes tied, you're not going to have a baby after that.
Exactly. And I just hate that I just hate that they do that across the board. We don't care if it was incest, rape, something could be wrong with you, could be wrong with the baby,
You still got to have a baby.
You got to have this baby. And so now I have this baby, and now Karen, where are you?
Enjoying twins and all that kind of crazy going on.
Right. And the kind of baby that's born out of an incestuous relationship. My father, not my father, but someone's father has sexually molested them their entire lives, and now she's pregnant. And who wants to do that? Who wants to have a baby from your daddy or your uncle? Why would you put somebody through that mental and physical? That's abuse to me.
Embarrassment and humiliation to come with that.
Right. And anybody who has a baby knows that ain't nothing to play with. If you are a Bible reading following person, you know that the words in the 23rd Psalm that say, "Yea, though I valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil." The valley of the shadow of death is childbirth. Derek says, he says, I'm not going to talk about abortions, but R.Kelly getting 30 years for charges that he had 30 years ago is crazy, especially when the parents were involved. But you see, for the victims who have suffered for the last 25 or 30 years with the torment in their hearts and minds and the trauma, we don't care how long it takes for you to get your punishment. People want to see justice served. They need to have an opportunity to get to a real healing place. And so, I can't just disregard that. I can't disregard that because it happened so long ago. Hey, damn it, it happened. You did this to me.
It wasn't so long ago. He only been in jail for a year or two.
No, but what Darren is saying that the crimes that R.Kelly committed started 30 years ago.
But they've been long going. They've been ongoing through the 30 years, leading up to current.
Right, and ongoing. He never stopped. It's not like he did one person one time 30 years ago.
Right.
This is a whole bunch of people.
Ongoing to the current time, and then he needed to pay. It's like a monster. He's a monster. So you gonna just let this monster continue to roam the land?
No.
Really?
And if it were your daughter or son, would you feel differently, Derek? He says, do you actually think they didn't know what they were getting into? I think some of them most definitely. Most definitely.
Did or didn't know.
That they did not know what they were getting into. Because that's not, a predator doesn't come out like this and go, ah. It's psychological. It's over a period of time. First, he does what's necessary to gain their trust.
Right.
Okay, and then he starts establishing his authority over you. And so I would say yes, that and it was R. Kelly. Nobody else was saying anything about him, so they trusted it. They didn't know, they didn't have anything to go on, and people are desperate for the fame and the fortune. They thought, oh, this is wonderful. R. Kelly, this wonderful producer, is taking interest in me. But I'm going to tell you something interesting that I heard from another creator. Minchi X is on YouTube, and she is talking about the connection between sex trafficking and abortions. And so the narrative, of course, has been put out there that it's the browning of America that has white people in fear and is causing them to, push the Supreme Court or influence the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, which they did.
But why that is because once the judges that were appointed by Trump, they were the ones who made the decision to overturn it. So they were in a position to do exactly what they're doing.
Oh, most definitely. I'm just saying that it's not necessarily the reason wanting to have more white babies born out of fear that that white people are becoming a minority is not the real issue. There's another underlying issue. And her thought and opinion was this. She says that it's she called it, it's breeding time. She says it's breeding time. And if you remember, we don't remember, but we know from history that there were breeding farms on the slave plantation. Okay, because slaves were treated like cattle. Okay, not seen as human. And so just like you breed your pigs and breed your chickens and breed your cows and all of those kind of things, and put them together so they can mate. That was what was done to black people. That's how they made sure that there was always a pipeline of slaves to work. As slaves got killed, as slaves died off, whatever there was, whatever happened, that there was always going to be a pipeline of children growing up in slavery, that they would have to work. And so she said, what we're seeing now is it's breeding time, and that these people, while we're concerned about what would happen, to a child that's born and not wanted, it given away, maybe adopted, who ends up in the system, who, is born to a single mother or a drug addict mother who doesn't want them or can't care for them. Now that child gets put in the system, and those children who are put in the system are often abused. They often end up taking it to the street. They are out maybe, doing drugs or selling their bodies or whatever it is. And those people are easy to fall victim of sex trafficking. And so she's saying this is really to feed the pedophiles and the sex trafficking business. And she said, if you do your research and you go all the way back, you'll see that all of this sex trafficking is government connected. And and instituted. If the truth were to be told that that's really what they're doing, and they don't want to see an end to that type of thing, and so they want to keep the floodgates open. And let us not forget about organ donors. She pointed out now we've got men who want to have wombs. They want to give birth, and so they change their sex, and now they want a uterus. Where's that uterus coming from? Who's going to give up that uterus? Where are they going to get it from? And it's her theory that this is what's really going on behind overturning Roe v. Wade, to have just a whole lot of children in the system that are easy to take advantage of.
Yeah, exactly. My thing is back in 73 when they ruled it unconstitutional between then and now, what got put in place is now made it constitutional. What changed? That now made it okay. Now we have
Unconstitutional.
It's because who needs it put into place needs it put into place. And so if they say do it, R.Kelly, if they say, hey, this is what I need to happen over this, that, and it's going to go. That's what's going to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know, there are a lot of crazy detrimental laws on the books that don't show up until something goes wrong. But I thought that this system was it was very interesting, her point of view. And it's like, to say that women are doing it as a means of birth control is not true. Not at all. And but who wants to do that? Who wants to have who wants to be forced to have a baby that they don't want and that they didn't plan? Or maybe you already have 3 or 4 children and you happen to be a woman who is, in her 40s. Yeah, you're capable of getting pregnant, but do you really want to be pregnant at 52, 55 just because you're in the middle of menopause and something goes wrong? Should you be forced to carry that child to term?
That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
But I don't think she is saying that people are using this birth control intentionally. But by being careless, by not being on birth control, by not insisting that the man use a condom, by not abstaining from sex, it happens. It happens.
It happens.
Birth control is not 100%. You can be responsible and take your pill every day, and you can still end up pregnant. Mm-hmm. So it's not that they intentionally, I believe, use for birth control. He needs that.
Mm-hmm.
Had abortion, and then 6 months later, you end up pregnant, and you need to have an abortion again. Yeah, that seems like abortion as birth control. But you may be on the pill, you may have IUD, you may have something in your arm, you may have whatever, but it's not working for you.
Right, and it fails you, and the burden of the responsibility for that is always on the woman.
Always.
It's for the whole thing, for the protection, for birth control, and for having the baby, and then for taking care of the baby afterwards.
And you better know that. You better be prepared when you get. Like I say, I not so much for ourselves now because most of us moving through the change of life, or we've gone through already, or we ain't had direction. But for our grandchildren, our young girls,
our daughters,
and granddaughters, it's a scary thing not to have that available.
It is. It is, regardless of how it happens, to not have that choice, and with somebody, on the pretense that you're doing it to save my life, but you're not doing anything else, to help my life, is it's not a good thing. And when she said we're going to see a lot more children in the system, and then those children, they disappear. Nobody looks for them.
I mean, so many babies they have it now where you can drop a baby safely at a fire department, probably a hospital or certain facilities. You can drop an unwanted baby off like you would a little kitten in a little box. These babies gonna be dropped off left and right.
Mm-hmm. It's really
It's gonna be overwhelming.
it is. It is. It's not looking
They
good
need
for
to get
us.
some programs together and get some programs ready to be here to help these women deal with these having these unwanted pregnancies that they had been forced to have. It's one thing to have unwanted pregnancy and you be able to have an abortion, and now you have to deal with the guilt of having that procedure done. You have to process it and you can eventually deal with it and get over it. Never forget, but forward. You feel me? But
Yes,
now
most
you have
definitely.
to remind you that the baby is here, and now you have to give the child a name because you take care of the child. That's more guilt. That's more stress
Right.
and pressure that you're gonna be putting on these young women.
Yep. And for black women, it really has an impact. Well, for black babies, because they don't get adopted as fast as quickly as their white counterparts.
Right.
And so that can be a problem. Raymarine is in the building. What's going on, baby? You know you can't make this shit up. He said in today's time, he said in today's time, you not only have to worry about the male heterosexual like R.Kelly or men in general, you also have to worry about these gay girls who call themselves studs. They are turning these young girls out early as early as in elementary school. Of course, needless to say, a stud is a male, so they could never be one, only in their make-believe world.
Yeah, because they can't impregnate these girls. These
No.
studs want to be a pretend. I don't want to call them pretends. They are what they are. Much love and respect to them, love y'all. But they can't make babies. They can't be a baby woman.
Mm-mm.
So you say to have your daughter with one of them, then you are with an overage man that's running with your daughter.
Well, I don't know about that, because just because somebody can't impregnate you doesn't mean that they can't abuse you or hurt you.
No, I didn't know. We talk about impregnating a woman for the sake of having and not having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
They're not impregnating a woman.
No, they're not doing that. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
But when she said that these men want to have a uterus transplanted into their body so that they can have a baby, I mean, that hit home with me, because we talked about that subject specifically, and I just screamed. I'm like, oh my God. And she said, where do you think they're going to get that uterus from? So this overturning of Roe v. Wade has a lot to do with also being able to get organs. All right, because if these women die in back alleys, trying to have an abortion, and you can get their organs, they're going to take them.
And we don't know how, like I said, does it need to be a small uterus that's small and developing? You know what I'm saying? Implant for the safety implantation into a man. They may need a small, young 13, 14, 15-year-old uterus to go in them.
Right, unused. And so, so that's where we are. It's a real, it's a real sad, it's a real sad state of affairs. I don't know. No one said anything other than Benjamin about how you feel about men having a say-so in what women do with their bodies when it comes to pregnancy and childbirth. So do you think men should be talking about this and voting on it and have the ultimate decision? Or is it something that both people need to, do we need to entertain their opinion. Kalitha says that's why so many black girls are missing. Yes, that's absolutely right. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more because when you have young women who are lost, who are desperate, who feel abandoned, who grow up in households where they're not wanted, do you know how terrible it is to be a baby that is not wanted? And how indifferently somebody can treat you, or you come out looking just like the rapist or the molester. uh, that's a terrible situation to be in, and so then they leave and they're out there unprotected, and when they get scooped up or get lured in to the type of lifestyle that allows them to be in a position where somebody can hurt them and take their organs, they're there. There's nobody to help them. Where is the love?
Well, yeah. Just to say that, how do we feel about men having to say, we don't have a choice because it's the majority of men that sit and rule on the Supreme Court justices. These are the good boys that voted in from 40 years ago. It's the majority of these decisions made on that. It's not more good where I could have a say so whether or not they have to get overturned or not. It's way beyond our control.
Yeah.
They don't ones who make it, whether we like it or not, whether we think it's wrong or right, we can't do nothing because they won't keep that control. They make
Yep, and no amount of protesting is going to make a difference. I don't think it's going to make it go away. It's a sad state of affairs. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us today in the virtual building on Raw Talk Live, and we will conclude our conversation about R.Kelly and Roe v. Wade tonight. And thank you so much. We just hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Have a safe holiday weekend. Oh, you know what? I heard about that, Ray. Ray says the movie Get Out had a lot of truth in it. It also gave people ideas in regards to getting organs that they never thought about before. And so I've got to check that out. I've got to check that out for sure. So thanks, Ray. We appreciate that. So happy 4th of July. happy Independence Day for what it's worth.
Happy.
He just said, happy, joy. We'll see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. for Raw Talk Live.